I pushed open the glass door, my palms already damp. The smell of grilled steak and garlic bread hit me as I scanned the tables. She waved at me from the corner booth, hair perfectly styled, smile sharp as glass. "There you are," Karen said, brushing her hair back. "I thought you'd keep me waiting forever." "I came straight from work," I replied, sliding into the booth. "Traffic was brutal." "Excuses, excuses," she muttered, lifting the menu. "At least you showed up." I forced a smile. "Yeah, of course, I was looking forward to this." "Mm-hmm." Her eyes ran over the menu like a judge about to give a sentence. "Tell me, do you always take women to places like this? It's decent. Not fancy, though." I laughed nervously. "It's one of my favorites. Thought we'd keep it casual." She clicked her tongue. "Casual. Right. Well, I suppose it'll do." The waiter arrived with water. "Can I start you off with something to drink?" Karen leaned forward. "Yes, I'll have the house special martini, top shelf, please." She didn't glance at me. The waiter scribbled and looked at me. Just water for now," I said. Karen raised an eyebrow. "Water? That's a little boring, don't you think?" "I'm driving," I muttered. She smirked. "Fine, your loss." The waiter left and Karen sighed dramatically. "So, tell me about your job. I need to know if I'm wasting my time." "Wasting your time?" I asked. "Yes. I don't date for fun. I date for stability, you understand?" I shifted in my seat. "I work in IT. It pays the bills." Not bad. Could be better. But not bad." Silence sat between us until the waiter returned with her martini. She took a slow sip, then grimaced. "Too sweet. People can't get anything right these days." I stayed quiet. She flipped through the menu again. "What are you having?" "Probably the grilled chicken." "Chicken? On a date? That's plain." "I like plain." "Sometimes," I said carefully. She snorted. "Suit yourself. I'll get the ribeye, medium rare, and an appetizer, obviously." The waiter returned and she ordered quickly. Ribeye, shrimp appetizer, extra sauce, double sides. She didn't even look at me. I ordered my chicken, keeping it simple. When the waiter left, Karen leaned back. "So, do you like kids?" I hesitated. Sure, kids are great." "Good," she said, setting her glass down. "Because I have 10, well, technically I have 4, but I count my nieces and nephews too. They're like mine." "Oh, that's a lot." "Yeah." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "They're hungry all the time. Growing kids, you know." I nodded slowly. "So here's what we're going to do," she continued casually, as if discussing the weather. "You'll order 10 extra dinners to go, 1 for each kid. It's only fair." I blinked. "Wait, 10 dinners?" "Yes." She tilted her head, studying me like I was stupid. "Don't act shocked. A real man provides. You're taking me out. You're taking care of my family too." My throat went dry. "Karen, that's not how this works. I came here to get to know you. Not to buy out the menu." Her smile froze, then sharpened. "Excuse me? Did I stutter? You're telling me you can't handle a simple request?" "It's not simple," I said, my voice low. "That's insane. 10 meals?" She leaned closer. "Do you know how much those kids depend on me, on us? If you can't, step up now. How do you think this will look later?" My chest tightened as I noticed nearby tables quieting, ears tuning in. Heat crawled up my neck. "Karen, I'm not buying 10 extra meals. That's ridiculous." Her eyes widened, then narrowed. "Ridiculous? Feeding children is ridiculous? Wow, you're even cheaper than I thought." People were staring now. The waiter froze mid-step, pretending not to listen. I whispered, "Keep your voice down." "Why?" she snapped. "So you can keep pretending you're a good guy? You dragged me out here and can't even cover a few meals for hungry kids? Pathetic." "I dragged you?" My hands clenched under the table. "You agreed to this date. I came here to spend time with you, not get used like a credit card." Karen laughed, high-pitched and cruel. "Oh, please. You think you're some prize? Look at you. nervous, plain, ordering chicken. You should be grateful I even gave you chance. The words stung, but anger pushed through the shame. You know what, Karen? No, I'm not grateful. I don't owe you anything, and I'm definitely not buying food for 10 kids I've never met. Her fake smile snapped into a snarl. You'll regret this. I pushed back my chair, the legs screeching against the floor. No, I won't. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she grabbed her martini and downed it in one gulp, slamming the glass down. Fine, leave. I'll handle this myself, but don't think people won't hear about how cheap you are. I stood there, heart pounding, the entire restaurant silent, faces turned away as if they hadn't been watching. I walked out, my breath ragged, my mind spinning. Outside, the night air felt heavy. My hands shook as I jammed them into my pockets. Her voice echoed in my head. Cheap, pathetic, useless. But beneath the shame, something else stirred. A warning. That night I knew this wasn't over. Karen wouldn't let it go. Karen's voice followed me before I even reached the door. Cheap, pathetic, you couldn't buy food for kids? She screamed, standing in the middle of the restaurant. I froze, heat rushing to my face. Karen, stop. No, you stop. She cut me off. You wasted my time, dragged me here, and embarrassed me. Everyone look at him. This is what broke men look like. The restaurant went quiet. Forks paused mid-air. Conversations died. All eyes burning into me. Karen, please, I muttered. You're making a scene. She laughed, a harsh sound. Oh, I'm making a scene. No, you made a scene when you told me you wouldn't feed children. Imagine that. Kids going hungry because of you. The waiter shifted awkwardly nearby. I caught his eye, hoping he'd intervene, but he looked away. Let it go, I whispered. Let it go, she barked. I don't let men use me. You'll regret this, cheap little man. I clenched my jaw. I didn't use you. I just said, oh, her voice rose again. Selfish, broke, useless, laughter rippled at a nearby table. Someone whispered, damn, she's loud. Another muttered, poor guy. I wanted to disappear, to sink under the floor. Instead, I forced myself to walk out. Her words chased me into the night, echoing in my head. Hours later, I sat on my scrolling. My phone buzzed nonstop. Karen's post lit up my screen. Men these days can't even buy food for kids on a date. Pathetic. I dodged a bullet. Pictures followed. Her ribeye, her martini, a blurry shot of me leaving. The comments piled up. Who even dates broke dudes anymore? She deserves better. What kind of man says no to children? My stomach twisted. I texted her. Karen, take it down. Her reply came instantly. Why, feeling exposed? Maybe next time you'll act like a man, I typed back. This isn't fair. You twisted everything, she answered. Fair? Life isn't fair, learn that. My phone buzzed again, notifications stacking up. Friends tagged me, co-workers sharing the post with emojis. I called my buddy Jason. He picked up, voice hesitant. Hey, did you see it? I asked. Yeah, man, look, people are talking, maybe just ignore it? Ignore it? She's lying about me. Bro, the internet doesn't care about truth. They care about drama. Just lay low. I gritted my teeth. Easy. For you to say. Don't make it worse, he warned. Seriously. When I hung up, another message popped up. This time from Sasha, my coworker. Wow, didn't know you were like that. Super disappointing. I called her right away. Sasha, listen, it's not true. I don't want to hear excuses. She said coldly. Everyone saw the post, you humiliated her. And those poor kids, you couldn't just buy food? She never mentioned kids before the date, I argued. She demanded 10 dinners, Sasha. 10. You're exaggerating, I'm not. My voice cracked. Why would I lie? She sighed. Look, I have work to do. Maybe think about how you come across. Then she hung up. The line went dead, leaving me in silence. My chest felt heavy. At midnight, my mother called. Sweetheart, are you okay? Not really. I saw her post. People are cruel, but I know you. You'd never refuse to help children like that. Relief flooded me. Thank you. Finally, someone believes me. She paused. But maybe. Did you say something that sounded harsh? Mom, I said no to buying 10 dinners, that's it. Her voice softened. Sometimes no is the right answer. Don't let her guilt you. The truth comes out eventually. I closed my eyes, her words wrapping around me like a blanket. But when I tried to sleep, the phone kept lighting up. More comments, more tags. Guess chivalry really is dead. Karen deserves a king, not a clown. I hope she finds someone better. Each word pierced deeper. I whispered to myself, this isn't me, I'm not that guy. But the internet had already decided who I was. Lying in the dark, I stared at the ceiling, Karen's voice replaying in my head. Cheap, pathetic, useless. The betrayal burned sharper than knives. I turned my phone face down, but it kept buzzing, a cruel reminder. Sleep never came. The next morning at work, Mr. Dalton called me into his office. His expression was flat, his voice clipped. Close the door. I did as he said, my stomach twisting. Is something wrong? He tapped his desk. I've had 3 emails about you already. That post, is it true? No, I said quickly. She twisted everything. She demanded 10 dinners and I refused. He leaned back. The internet thinks you're cruel. That reflects on us. So I'm supposed to just take the blame for her lies? I'm telling you how it looks, replied. You need to stay out of trouble. Don't give people more fuel. Mr. Dalton, I didn't. He raised a hand. That's all. Get back to work. I walked out, my face burning. Whispers followed me down the hallway. Sasha avoided my eyes, typing furiously at her desk. At lunch, Jason slid into the seat across from me. Man, you okay? No. Dalton thinks I embarrassed the company. Sasha won't even look at me. Everyone's staring. Jason lowered his voice. Bro, people believe Karen. She's painting herself like some struggling single mom. You're the villain now. I gritted my teeth. I didn't do anything wrong. He sighed. Doesn't matter. People love a victim story. She's got kids. Nobody questions her. I can't live like this, I muttered. Jason leaned closer. Then fight back, post your side. I shook my head. That'll make it worse. He shrugged. So you're just gonna let her destroy you? That night, I called my old friend, Mark. Hey, you've known me for years. You know I'd never. He cut me off. Look, man, I don't want drama. My wife saw the post and she's furious. We're trying to stay out of it. Mark, please, you know I'm not that guy. I can't get involved. Sorry. He hung up. I stared at my phone, betrayal sinking deep. Scrolling through Facebook, I found another of Karen's posts. Single moms deserve respect. I asked for a little help feeding kids and he mocked me. I'll never forget the look in his eyes, like my kids weren't worth it. The comments were worse than before. She's a queen. He's trash. No woman should ever go through this. He'll die alone. I threw the phone onto the couch, my chest heaving. Later, Mom called again. Sweetheart, how bad is it? Bad, I admitted. Dalton thinks I embarrassed the company. Friends won't talk to me. She's everywhere, Mom. She's painting herself as a saint. People believe what they want to believe, Mom said gently. So I just stay quiet while she destroys me. Her voice softened. You choose who you are, not her. I pressed, my hand to my forehead. But nobody sees me. They only see her version. Then change the picture, she whispered. That night, I couldn't sleep. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Messages, tags, memes. I paced my apartment, my mind racing. How? Could one dinner ruin everything? I whispered to myself. I remembered the restaurant, the eyes on me, her voice cutting through the silence. Useless. Pathetic. Anger surged through me, hot and sharp. I clenched my fists. No, I muttered. She doesn't get to define me. Not anymore. I grabbed my phone, staring at the glowing screen. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt something different. Control. I didn't know exactly what I would do yet, but one thing was certain. I wasn't going to stay silent. This wasn't just fallout. This was the beginning of a fight. I stared at my laptop screen, her posts multiplying like weeds. Everyone painted me as a monster. I clenched my jaw. No more sitting in the dark, I muttered. If she wants war, she'll get it, with the truth. I scrolled through old comments, spotting a name I didn't recognize. Eric M. He wrote, "She pulled the same thing on me years ago." My heart jumped. I messaged him immediately. He replied within minutes. "Call me. You need to hear this. When..." I dialed. His voice was tired but steady. "So you're the new guy she's smearing, huh?" "That's me," I said bitterly. "What did she do to you?" He laughed without humor. "Almost word for word what you described. Fancy dinner, sudden demand for meals for her kids, public meltdown when I refused. She called me heartless. Then she blasted me online." "She's done this before?" I asked, stunned. "Twice that I know of. She thrives on sympathy. Men become villains, she becomes the hero mom. Same pattern, every time." I leaned forward in my chair. "Did you ever expose her?" "Tried, nobody listened. People want a victim, she gives them one." "Thanks," I muttered. "At least I know I'm not crazy." "You're not, but be careful. She knows how to twist a story." When the call ended, my pulse thundered. My suspicion wasn't paranoia, she really was running a scam. The next day, I texted Jason. "Need a favor. Meet me?" We sat in a quiet cafe, the noise of the street muffled through the glass. "What's up?" Jason asked. "I found one of her exes," I whispered. "Same story. She demanded food, flipped out, destroyed his reputation." Jason's eyes widened. "So she's running the same playbook?" "Exactly. But I need more proof." He frowned. "What are you thinking?" "Someone local. Someone who actually knows her situation." Jason hesitated. "I might know someone. A friend of a friend. She used to babysit Karen's kids." My breath caught. "Can you connect me?" He nodded slowly. "I'll reach out." That night, a message popped up from Lydia. "Jason said you wanted to talk about Karen. Careful, she's dangerous." I typed back, "Please, I just need the truth." Minutes later, she agreed to call. When her voice came through, it was cautious. "So you're her latest target?" "Yeah, she's destroying me." "Did you babysit for her?" "For a while," Lydia said. "But let me be clear, she doesn't even have her kids full-time. Their father has custody, she only gets them on some weekends." I froze. "Wait, she told everyone she's raising them alone." Lydia snorted. "Lie number 1. Lie number 2, she uses those kids like props. Guilt trips men, plays the perfect mom act. Truth is, she barely spends time with them, always dumping them on relatives or sitters." My anger surged. "So the meals? She doesn't need them," Lydia cut in. "She just likes making. Men jump, it's a test. Whoever obeys becomes her wallet." I gripped the phone tighter. Why hasn't anyone called her out? People tried. She blocks, spins new stories, plays victim louder. And the internet eats it up. I swallowed hard. "Thank you. This helps more than you know." Her voice softened. "Be careful. She doesn't forgive anyone who stands up to her." After the call, I sat in silence, the pieces sliding into place. She lied about custody. She lied about me. She's lied for years. I pulled out a notebook, scribbling, "Eric, victim of same scam. Lydia confirms kids not full-time. Pattern, meals, meltdown, smear campaign." For the first time in weeks, I felt steady. This wasn't random chaos. It was strategy. And if she thrived on stories, then I'd counter with facts. I looked at my reflection in the dark window. My face was drawn, my eyes tired. But something new glimmered there. Resolve. "She's built her kingdom on lies," I whispered. "Time to burn it down with the truth." I stared at my phone, my thumb hovering over the screen. "No rants," I whispered, "just truth." I opened Facebook and typed, "For everyone asking about Karen's post, here are the facts." My hands shook, but I attached screenshots. Her texts demanding meals. Her fake sweetness turning hostile when I refused. Then I wrote, "This is not about refusing to feed children. This is about being manipulated." Within minutes, comments rolled in. "Is this real?" One person asked. "Screenshots don't lie," another replied. I exhaled. For the first time in weeks, my side existed publicly. Jason called almost instantly. "You posted?" "Yeah," I said. Calm, simple, no insults. Just receipts. He laughed softly. "Smart. People can't spin screenshots." My notifications buzzed non-stop. Messages appeared from strangers. One woman wrote, "She did this to my brother. He paid for everything and she ghosted him." Another messaged, "Thank you, I thought I was the only one." I blinked at the screen. "There are more victims," Jason said. "Exactly. Keep gathering. The more voices, the harder she can scream. Over them." I nodded, adrenaline rushing. This isn't just me anymore. That night, Karen struck back. Her status blared. "He's lying. He doctored those messages. Typical broke guy trying to save face." My stomach tightened. The comments under her post were divided. Some cheered her on, others asked, "But what about the screenshots?" I posted again, short and measured. "I invite anyone who doubts me to message privately. I'll share unedited proof." Dozens took me up on it. I spent hours forwarding full conversations, uncut, timestamps visible. One by one, people replied, "Wow, she lied." By morning, the tide had shifted. At work, Mark from accounting approached me. "Hey," he said awkwardly. "Saw your post last night. Honestly, respect. You didn't trash her. You just showed the truth." "Thanks," I muttered, relief flooding through me. He added, "People are starting to question her whole story. Keep it up." For the first time since the disaster, I walked through the office without whispers piercing my back. Later that evening, Jason messaged me a link. "Dude, check this group." It was a local forum, and someone had started a thread. Experiences with Karen S. Stories piled up. Men describing the same dinner scam. Women describing how she borrowed money and never returned it. Even one relative confessing, she exaggerates custody of her kids to guilt people. I sat frozen, scrolling. "She's been doing this for years," I whispered. Jason called. "See? You lit the match. People aren't scared anymore." I clenched my fist. Then I can't stop now. Hours later, my phone buzzed with a new message. It was Eric, the ex I'd spoken to earlier. "Saw your post, proud of you, man." "I tried once, but I was too angry. You're calm, people believe calm." I typed back, "Not about revenge anymore. I just want the truth out." He replied, "That's why it's working. Keep going." I leaned back in my chair, exhaustion mixing with relief. Karen's mask was cracking. Every denial she posted only brought more questions. Every accusation she hurled made her look desperate. I whispered to myself, "She can scream all she wants. The truth doesn't scream, it stands." For the first time since that night at the restaurant, I felt lighter. Not victorious, not yet, but dignified. And that was worth more than revenge. Jason called me one morning, voice buzzing with excitement. "Turn on the news. Now." I grabbed the remote, my heart thudding. The headline scrolled across the bottom of the screen. "Restaurant footage confirms viral date story." The anchor spoke calmly. Video from the restaurant shows the woman asking her date to purchase 10 additional meals. The man refused politely. The woman then raised her voice, calling him names. I froze. "They actually released it." Jason laughed. "Game over. No one can spin this now." My phone exploded with notifications. People tagged me everywhere. "Dude, you weren't lying. Karen got exposed. Screenshots plus video, she's finished." I sat back, breathing deeply. For weeks I had been painted as the villain. Now, the truth was undeniable. Hours later, I saw a new post in the forum thread. A man wrote, "She scammed me too. I bought her groceries, never heard from her again." Another replied, "She borrowed $200, promised to pay back, never did." The stories poured in. Each one chipped away at her mask. 2 days later, Jason sent me a text. "Check Facebook, you won't believe it." Karen's job at the daycare had posted, "Effective immediately, Karen S. is no longer employed here. We do not condone dishonest or manipulative behavior." I whispered, "She lost her job." Jason called instantly. "Her reputation's toast, even her friends are backing off. Look at the comments. I scrolled. Can't believe I defended her. She lied to all of us. Poor kids. It was brutal. People who once praised her now mocked her publicly. Later that night, Eric messaged me. She called me crying, he said. Begged me to defend her. I told her no. She made her choices. I stared at the screen. She really has no one left. Eric replied, "That's what happens when lies pile up. Eventually, they crush you." Days passed. My phone buzzed with messages of support. Strangers thanked me. People admitted they had believed her lies but now saw the truth. But inside, I felt conflicted. Relief washed over me, yes, but so did something heavier. Jason noticed when we met for coffee. "You're quiet," he said. "She's ruined," I muttered. Part of me feels glad. But another part, I trailed off. He leaned forward. "You feel sorry for her?" I nodded slowly. "Her world's collapsing, friends gone, job gone. I almost pity her." Jason sipped his coffee. "Don't. She did this. You didn't push her. Truth did." I stared at the table. Still doesn't feel clean. I never wanted total destruction. That evening, just as I was trying to settle in, a knock rattled my door. My stomach dropped. When I opened it, Karen stood there. Her makeup was smudged, her eyes swollen red. She looked nothing like the sharp, confident woman from our first date. "Please," she whispered, voice trembling. "I need to talk." I froze, gripping the door frame. "Karen, why are you here?" She clasped her hands together. "Everything's gone, my job, my friends, my reputation. Please, I never meant for it to go this far." Anger surged in me, but so did something else. Pity. "You humiliated me publicly," I said, my voice shaking. "You tried to destroy my life." Tears streamed down her face. "I was desperate. I thought if I made you look bad, people would side with me. I didn't know it would blow up like this." I shook my head. "You didn't just make me look bad. You weaponized lies, and now you're paying the price." She reached out as if to grab my arm. "Please, just say something online. Say we misunderstood each other. Help me fix this." I pulled back. "You want me to lie for you again?" Her lips trembled. "If you don't, I have nothing left." I stared at her, heart pounding. For weeks I had been her victim, her target. Now she stood here begging, powerless. I whispered, "You created this storm, Karen, not me." Her shoulders sagged, and for the first time she had no comeback. I closed the door slowly, her muffled sobs fading into silence. Inside, I leaned against the wood, breath shaking. Relief, sadness, finality. Her world had crumbled, and for the first time I realized mine had finally begun to rebuild. Her fists pounded lightly on my door again. "Please open up, just hear me out." I sighed, my chest heavy, and cracked the door. Karen stood there, mascara streaked down her cheeks, clutching her purse like it was her last lifeline. "Why are you here again?" I asked quietly. She stepped forward, desperate. "Because I have nowhere else to go. You don't understand. I was desperate that night. My kids, they needed me to provide. You could have helped." I shook my head. "I didn't owe you 10 dinners, Karen. I owed you honesty, and I gave it. You turned it into a circus." Her lip trembled. "You don't get it. They're just kids. Don't they deserve a chance?" I crossed my arms. "Don't use them against me, not again. You've used those kids as shields for years. I've seen the messages. I've read the stories." Her eyes flashed. "Those people are liars, bitter exes, jealous friends. Why do you believe them over me?" "Because I lived it," I said firmly. "Because I saw the truth in your actions, not your words." She pressed a hand to her chest, her tone softening. "I can change. Just give me one statement online. Say it wasn't as bad as it looked. Help me rebuild." I stared at her, stunned at her persistence. "You think after everything I'd lie for you?" Her voice cracked. "You owe me. After humiliating me, after ruining my life, you owe me this." I stepped outside now, lowering my voice. "No, Karen, I don't owe you anything. You destroyed yourself." Her tears turned to rage in seconds. "You're heartless. Cold, selfish man who'd rather watch a mother drown than throw a rope." Neighbors' doors opened, heads peeking out. Mrs. Alvarez across the street whispered to her husband. Kids on bikes slowed to listen. Karen pointed at me, screaming, "Everyone should know what you really are, a cruel, bitter loser." But for once, I didn't shrink back. I didn't feel shame. I said clearly, "Scream all you want. They've all seen the truth. You don't scare me anymore." Her face twisted, confusion mixing with fury. "You think you've won? You think people care about your little posts? This isn't over." I met her gaze steadily. "It's already over. You just don't want to admit it." She faltered, her hand dropping from her purse. For a moment, silence hung between us. Her breathing was ragged, her shoulders shaking. "Why can't you forgive me?" she whispered. I softened my tone. "Forgiveness doesn't mean letting you hurt me again. Forgiveness means letting go, and I already have." Her knees buckled slightly and she grabbed the railing. "So that's it? You leave me with nothing?" I exhaled slowly. "No, Karen. You left yourself with nothing. I'm just finally refusing to carry it for you." The neighbors stood watching now, whispering, some even recording. For the first time, I didn't feel exposed. I felt free. Karen glanced around, realizing the crowd. Her bravado cracked. She muttered, "They're all judging me." I shook my head. "They're just seeing the truth, the same truth I finally saw." Her eyes filled again, but this time no manipulation hid behind them. Only defeat. She turned away, stumbling down the steps. At the sidewalk, she spun back one last time. "You'll regret this. One day you'll see what you lost." I steadied my voice. "What I lost was shame, and I don't regret losing that." She stood frozen for a moment, then turned and walked down the street, her figure shrinking with each step until she disappeared around the corner. I closed the door behind me, leaned against it, and exhaled deeply. For weeks, she had controlled the narrative, my emotions, my very life. Now standing there with the echo of her screams still in the air, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Karen's power over me was gone, and I knew she'd never get it back. Jason leaned back in his chair at the cafe, grinning at me. "So, Mr. Viral Redemption, how does it feel?" I laughed softly. Strange. A month ago, I couldn't even walk into this place without hearing whispers. Now people come up to me to say, "Good job for standing your ground." He nodded. "That's because you didn't stoop to her level. You showed proof, stayed calm. People respect that." I stirred my coffee slowly. I wasn't calm inside. Half the time I wanted to scream. "Yeah, but you didn't," Jason said. "That's the difference. You let truth do the screaming." I smiled at his choice of words. Funny how one dinner can change everything. At work, things shifted too. One morning, my boss stopped by my desk. "Got a moment?" he asked. I nodded nervously, expecting the worst. He sat across from me. "I want to apologize. I judged you too quickly. That video cleared the air, and your work has been solid throughout. You handled yourself with professionalism. I respect that." Relief washed over me. "Thank you. I just wanted people to see me for who I am, not who she said I was." He smiled faintly. "They do now. Keep it up." When he left, I sat there stunned. Weeks ago, I'd feared losing my job. Now I'd earned respect I never thought I'd get back. Even online, the tide had shifted. Strangers messaged me. "You showed me it's okay to say no. Your story helped me walk away from a toxic relationship. Thanks for standing up for yourself without being cruel." Each message struck me deeply. I never imagined my humiliation could inspire someone else. Jason teased me one night. "You're basically an accidental motivational speaker now." I laughed. "All I did was survive dinner with Karen." "Exactly," he said. "And somehow, that survival turned into strength, for you and for others. But the biggest change was quieter, internal. One evening, I sat on my balcony, watching the sunset. My phone buzzed with another supportive message, but I set it aside. I whispered to myself, I don't need their approval anymore. I needed my own. For the first time, I felt it, real, unshakable self-respect. Later that week, Eric called. "Hey, man," he said. I've been following everything. Just wanted to say, you gave me closure too. For years I carried shame, from what she did to me. Seeing you fight back with truth reminded me I wasn't weak. I was just manipulated. His words hit me hard. You weren't weak, Eric. None of us were. She preyed on trust. That's not weakness. It's humanity. He was quiet for a moment. You're right. Still, I'm grateful. You ended the cycle. After we hung up, I sat there realizing it wasn't just my life that had shifted. My stand had rippled outward, freeing others too. One Saturday, I ran into Mrs. Alvarez, my neighbor, who'd witnessed Karen screaming on my porch. She stopped me with a smile. I wanted to say, you handled that better than most would. You didn't fight fire with fire. I chuckled. Honestly, I was too tired to fight. She shook her head. No. You chose dignity. That matters. People saw it. Her words lingered. Long after she left. Dignity. That was it. I hadn't won by tearing Karen down. I'd won by standing tall when she tried to drag me low. A month later, Jason and I met again. You ever think about her? He asked. Sometimes, I admitted. Not with anger anymore, just as a reminder. A reminder of what? I took a sip of water. That boundaries matter. That saying no doesn't make me cruel. It makes me strong. He nodded approvingly. So what now? I smiled. Now, I move forward. She's just another story people tell. But me, I'm the one who writes the ending. That night, I opened my journal, something I hadn't touched in years. I wrote, one outrageous dinner became my turning point. From humiliation to freedom, from silence to voice, from shame to strength. I paused, staring at the words. They didn't feel like tragedy anymore. They felt like truth. I added, Karen fades into the background. But me, I step into a future where I control the narrative, my voice, my strength, my story. I closed the book and exhaled. The chapter was over, not just in the journal, but in my life. For the first time, the weight of her lies no longer pressed on me. I wasn't the villain. I wasn't the victim. I was simply me, stronger, clearer, freer, and I knew whatever storms waited ahead, I'd never be silenced again.